Mesachta Sanhedrin, we're starting Chabez Amar Aleph. We're starting from Chabez Aleph Amar Beis, 9 lines from the bottom. Oma Mazuta. Oma Mazuta. Mazuta said, "V'itema Marukva." Others say Marukva. Originally, the Torah was given to the Yidden with the Ksav of Ivri, and you'll see there's different looks. No, it's not a Ksav, a form of a Ksav. I'll show you after the share. It's different. The Tzudas were a little different.
And like a Secretary, I think?
No. It was given in Lashon HaKodesh. Chazav v'nitin lahem b'yimei Ezra, and when they came back from Golos and they built the Sak Beis HaMikdash, b'ksav Ashuris, u'b'lashon HaRami. They had a different form of Oisius, different Oisius, but this time it was Lashon HaRami. Be'er lahem Yisol, the Yisol chose for themselves to write Sifrei Teires, Ksav Ashuris u'lashon HaKodesh. They used the Ksav Ashuris, but they used Lashon HaKodesh. Ve'nichol Hadyotes, Ksav Ivris u'lashon HaRami. But for the Hadyotes, the Hadyotes wrote the Ksav Ivris and Lashon HaRami. Man Hadyotes, who were the simple thing people? Amar Avchizda, Kusoi, those people from Kusoi, the Kusim. My Ksav Ivris, what's the Ksav Ivris? Amar Avchizda, Ksav Liboyna. There were different Tzudas. If you look in the 45, Eina Kavana L'Tzudas Gedel Shal Ksav Ashuris. It doesn't mean bigger letters, but the same tzura. No, it was a different tzura, and many of them had big oisies, and it was bigger oisies, and it was a different tzura, the way it looked. They would write the kameas in this ksav. The chain in the back of the mezuzah, they shot the Eibishter Shem, the nom from Eibishter. They would write in that ksav ivri. That yates, but we have it in the kameyas or in the back of the mezuzah. They have the shemes akdeshim, so they wrote also in ksav ivri. They all shaiten shem mit ksav. Ashuris with tagin, with the crowns and everything. Tanya, we learned from the Braisa. Ezra was fitting that the Torah should be given through him, not Moshe. If Moshe wouldn't have came before he would have been the person fit for it. By Moshe it says Moshe went up to the Eibishter. So it says. Who has all of the bubble? Oh, Sheit Allah. So we from bubble to Eretz Yisrael after the Gullus bubble. Yeah, but as it says Allah, when you have the same words, you can learn out one from the other. Just like the Aliyah by Moshe Rabbeinu. It was Lekabel Satera. So too we find the Aliyah that when Ezra came from Babel to Eretz Yisrael, is to be Mekabel Torah. Also, the Moshe who aimed by Moshe, it says, it says that me, Hashem commanded at that time, that I should teach you the Chukim and the Mishpatim. By Ezra says the same thing. So same thing by Ezra, it says, as prepared his heart to teach. So, thus, as a had for sure, but I'm saying we see they had very big similarities. There was both leaders teaching the Bnei Yisrael the Chukim and Shvatim.
Doesn't mean he was greater than Moshe.
He had all the qualities of Moshe. Even though the Torah was not given through Ezra, but the Eibishter did something special. The Ksav was changed. The form of the Aces in the Schus of Ezra, it was changed. So the mother.
Why is it better this way? Why did it change?
Now we use that. It says that it says Kosav ala Chashtana Melech Poros. Uksav Anishtavon. It says the Ksav changed. Kosav Aramis. It was written in Ksav Arami. Umeturgim, and it was also getouched in the Lashon Aramis. But it says that Uksiv Benegeya to the Haidah that Malach Belshazzar, the king of Babel, there was a miracle that they saw a hand, would not attach to a goof, writing on the wall. And there was a writing on the wall. And on the wall it said, Adayin I'm sorry, Malka. Then all the Chachmei of the Melech came to figure out what's this writing on the wall, and they see a hand with not attached writing.
What was written?
Oh, we want to know. And the Chachmei of the king could not figure it out. Belshazzar used all his wise people; they couldn't figure it out. Lord Kahalan Ksav Mikro, there was nobody to read it. They didn't know what kind of a ksav it is, and there was nobody to be paisa to interpret the.
Yosef wasn't there yet.
Oh, no, 1 minute. Daniel was there. Till Daniel came, and he says, I could read it. And he interpreted. And even the Yidden couldn't read it. So you see, that's when the new Ksav came about. And so this is the Ksav that Hanishtavan, it says the Lashon Nishtav, Ksav Hanishtavan, the Ksav was changed. Which is hinted in the Sefer Ezra that will be changed, and it was changed by him. The Eibishter made that there should be exchange for him. So this Ksav was called Ashuri. Okay? Ezra wrote the Sifrei Teres with the new Ksav. So the Tana wants to be Mavara the Makar for this Shinui of the Tzudas Ksav. See, it says in the Pasuk that in the future it will change. So Moshe Rabbeinu hinted in the Torah, it says, because of Loi es Mishnei, HaTorah Mishnei, means that you can explain Lashon Shinoi. The Kavanah is that the Torah that Moshe gave to the Yidden, Ksav was a Ksav Ivri. Haroyel Ishtan is that in the future it could be changed, and was changed. And when was it changed? In days of Daniel and Ezra knew that.
Because they knew how to read it.
Only Daniel.
Children had to learn to do all of it.
It's similar a little bit. I'll soon show you after the shit. Thank you. Why was it called Ashuris? Says you want to show Allah in Mahem. Am Yisrael went with Teretz Yisrael from Mei Ashur, from the place called Ashur. That's why they called it Ashuris. Tanya, we learned in Abraisa that they always had the Ksav Ashuri. It was never changed. Nitna Torah Yisrael. That Moshe Rabbeinu gave that Torah that he gave to the Yisrael was Ksav Ashuris. Since at the end of Bais Harishain, they were mavazah the Torah, right? Nepach lehem l'royetz. The Eibishter made it that
it wasn't the ego time yet. It wasn't the ego yet.
No, by Bais Harishain when it was destroyed later. Nepach lehem l'royetz, and meaning that it was broken up, meaning it was forgotten. They couldn't read it anymore. This ksav, and the Yidden didn't know how to read it. The Yidden that were in the Chatzar, Belshazzar, they couldn't read the Ksav Ashuri. It was forgotten for them because they sinned. But once, since they did Shuvah, through Ezra, and Ezra taught them from anew the Ksav Ashuris again. Shanema, like it says, on the days of the Bayis Hasheni, Shuvah Levitzarin, they returned to Yerushalayim, the fortified city of Yerushalayim, Asiri Atikva, that you guys were tied up like in prison, and you were hoping for my help. Gamayoim Magid Mishnah, and even to this, you were zeicha that the Ksav Ashuri should be told to you, that it should be told to you, meaning it was forgotten for you, and the Ksav went to Ksav Izbri, because that's all they knew. It was similar to the Ksav they knew only. They only knew how to use that. And that, the Eibishter said, because of your tshuva, I'm going to also return the Ksav the way it was originally. So, in fact, why is it called Ashuris? If Moshe Rabbeinu, from Har Sinai, before this story with Ashur, that Belshazzar sent everybody, what he did was very genius. He took every person from one country and he moved them to another, so they should be unfamiliar. They shouldn't be able to gang up and fight him. So he changed everybody around.
Who shouldn't fight the who?
They shouldn't be able to fight Belshazzar. He ruled over the whole world. So how did he do it? He disoriented every country. The people from one country, he put in another country, and they should be unfamiliar, so not to be able to have tactics how to fight. To know the area. They didn't know the area.
Shouldn't have the same language.
Okay.
That's not like about the Migdal, no?
Yeah. So they were disoriented. So yes. So why was it called Ashuris? If Moshe Rabbeinu already from his time before Ashur says because that was the most beautiful ksav. This ksav that they write, the Sifrei, our Sifrei that we write, is ksav Ashuri, Lo nishtana kolika. It was never changed. It was never forgotten even. He says, Shenema vavi amudim. He says, those you say that, those, on top of the amudim, they had a piece which had a hook. It was made out of silver. So it was like a vav. They call it vavi amudim, the vavi of the amudim. And that was the same form of ksava shuris, because that's how they described the piece that should be on the top, that it should come also with like a loop, a ring, so where the yidis should be able to attach to the curtains on the top. So the mother and on the inside. So it says amudim. So they're called vavim because they were similar to the vav of Ksav Ashuri. So this was already in Moshe's times. They wrote this vav because they described that the vav amudim, that it was the vav of Ksav Ashuri. Okay, so just like the amudim, that wasn't changed. That's how it was. So too the vavim that we described on the amudim, which was similar to Ksav Ashuris, was not changed. And he brings another proof. It says in the Megillah Esther, to the Yidden, like they write and like they lashon. Just like L'Divya Hakel, that the lashon hakedesh was, the Torah was given lashon hakedesh. That's the lashon that they used. Okay, so to the writing, the way they wrote Ksav Ashuris.
So even when in Bible they spoke Ibris?
They knew Lashon HaKodesh, yeah. They spoke Bavli, Harami. It says Harami. That's how we have the bubble. Says the Gemara, we said, a drasha Mishnah means that in the future will be changed. But now that you say it was never changed, it was the same Torah, the same Ksav. So what's the Mishnah Torah? What does Mishnah mean? He says, L'shtei Torahs. To teach us that the Melech has to write two Sifrei Torahs. One that he constantly has to have with him wherever he goes. And one that was placed in his oitza. The one that he constantly went in and out was like a kameya amulet that you always have. And it was always hanging on his arm. Never like it was connected to his arm. It says, it says, summit, that I have constantly Hashem standing on Kagimir, corresponding to me. Right, Shavis Hashem. Kimimidi, Balem, at the end of the pasuk is, for my right hand will never be left alone. Will always be connected. That meaning that Torah is always going to hold. And from his right, he's not going to leave go. So that's what it means. The Kohen always, the Melech always had to hold on to Sefer Torah, wherever he went. Idach, of course, not in the Beis HaMechetz, we learned yesterday, in any place where you weren't able to read, you weren't allowed to bring in the Sefer Torah, but otherwise it's always with him. Vidach, what about the other Tana that says that the Melech needed only one Sefer Torah? He said, Hi Shavis Hashem, my Dorish. What is he dashing with that? Because there we dash with, it was always with him and it never left his right side. He says, you want to like the Avchon of Rav Bizna. Someone who davening Shmini Esrei, Tzorich sheyiras atzmai. He has at that time when he's davening Shmini Esrei, soll sich treisel in Kili, he should shake Kili Shechina connected, like the Shechina is right there. It's not Shabbos Havayla, like the summit that make it as if the Eibush is standing right by you the whole time. Shimon ben Elazar, Dabek Ksav said like Nishtana and Mai. According to Shimon ben Elazar, that this Ksav never changed. So what is this that it says? And by the Malach of Balshatzer, why couldn't anybody read it? What do you mean you can't read it? It never changed. There was a Ksav Shuris. So show me the Alabez Chekemlein. What do you mean they couldn't read it? And he brought his Chachmei. I feel it's zwischen them the Yidden. They couldn't read it. It was always the same Ksav.
He used to have Nekudas.
Nekudas Kevin. I mean Kevin. Yeah, so why couldn't they read it when they saw the hand with the Ksav? Yeah, what was the problem? It was written in Lashon code. Yatas. Here doesn't mean gematria, that gematria. Here it means yatas either pugachamt. It means aleph that it gets exchanged. Atbash. You ever heard of Atbash? Aleph is exchanged with the last letter of the alabase. So what's the last letter? What's the first letter? Aleph. So it could be exchanged for a tough. Beis, what comes before Shin, Bash. Atbash. So he exchanged it was written in code Atbash. So he
You
says
just rewrite it. That's all.
you go and you correspond to each letter and you see the there's the exchangeable letter, and that they had to figure out that code. Only the Yidden knew about it. Only those that knew there's such a thing as exchangeable. So what did the Neil explain to Belshazzar? He says, Menei tekal ufarsin. He says, Menei mana lekom al-chusach. The Eibishter counted your years. Your 70 years are up. Vashlama, it's done. The Eibishter counted your years, and he found that Belshazzar, you were supposed to have 70 years. Your time is up. Tekal, so he says, Tekal to be maiznaya, meaning Hashem weighed on a scale. And the Eibishter said, well, you have no more schus, you're done. You gotta go. So Paras priest is malchus. The Eibishter splintered his malchus, broke his malchus. The Belshazzar, Belshazzar, the Goyish Melech, he was a Russia. The Yavis Lamadu Padas, and the Eibishter gave it over to the Persians, to Madeu Padas. He broke his melucha. So
why you still left over? Why did you take away the whole thing from him?
what do you mean? Why did you take the whole thing?
Why you broke the melucha? Only half? What do you mean?
No, he mean broke his whole melucha. So if you read the Pukachamt Yatas Yud, so Yud, if you go making exchanges, you'll see that the Yud represents the Mem, and you go through each one. The Tes represents the Nun, and the Tov represents the Aleph. That's how you have B'nai. That's if you want to make the Cheshbon, you'll make the Cheshbon on your own, because it'll take forever. It's like the Gemara, Shmuel says a different code. He says, in each line was written 5 letters. Mamtum Nenakvi A'alram. So here you look in the box, and you'll see each one here. You have the
same thing, the other words.
So he says read it downward. They had to know which way to read it. It was like a jigsaw puzzle. He says you have to read it downward. He put all the 3 words this way, and he went Menei from up down. He didn't read it across. Menei, Takel, Ufarsin. So that's how he did it. So he figured it out, Daniel. I mean, he knew the code.
Kids have these puzzles.
Jigsaw puzzles, yeah.
So they had already at that
Jig
time.
puzzle,
They
what?
had at that time already this game.
Huh?
Those times.
Yeah, they got these crosswords from here, the crossword puzzle from here. Rabbi Yechon says, Anam, lokat nisrofu. So he says everything was written the opposite. You see, Anam, you have to read backwards. Monei. Mem nun aleph. He says, Tov kuf lamed, takal. He said you have to read it backwards. And then they didn't chapsich. Ravashi Amar, the first 2 letters every word that he wrote have to be reversed. Ravashi Amar, the mei. So the nun mem, you change the nun and the mem, you make it minei instead of nimei. The first 2 letters are exchanged, reversed. Katal, poisin. Okay. Sagt die Heilige Mishnah, ein reichvin al susei. We don't ride on the sus of the king. We don't sit on his throne. We don't use his staff. You're not allowed to touch it. You don't look at him when he's taking a haircut. You shouldn't be there when he's naked. Nor should he be in the bathhouse while the king is there. It says a double ocean. You should make a king over you. What's the same tosim? To teach us that the fear should be upon you. Don't touch any of his stuff. Avishag was the woman who David Abel, his elder young Avishag, Abigail, no. Avishag, a woman, she's a Tzidkanias by Shlomo HaMelech. But anyway, Avishag, what was the, I'm sorry, she was David Abel. Avishag was only a girl, a beautiful girl, but he was cold at the end of his age, and he already married 18 women. She was there just to warm him. By David HaMelech. And she was there only to warm him.
She was still a psula.
Yeah, just there to warm him. So Shlomo was allowed to marry her because she was not married. And you can't say she was married, because then how could a son cannot marry a father's wife? That's crazy. That's ever. But she was not married. But Shlomo was a melech. He was allowed to take Abishag because she was never married. Adoniyah, his brother, who wasn't a real king, it was Asa. Asa Adoniyah. Muteres l'shleima, what is muter to Shleima? The Melech Haya. Shleima was a Melech. Melech mishtamish b'shavitz Melech. A Melech, one Melech can use the staff of another Melech. You see, we call her a staff. Azib hashtakim. So you're not hashtakim, nicht mer. But Asur Adoniyah, the Hedjid too, because he was a Hedjid.
What if he had a regular wife?
What?
So Shlomo would be mutter also with his wives?
Not the wives. We said befeidah she's not allowed. David would not. If he was here, it says David loy nasa zavish agleisha. Ki'ilu nasa. Turn. Look on the top. Turn the next page. Ki'ilu nasa on the top. Hoisa asura al shleima. She would be forbidden to shleima. Ke'eshes ha'av asura al b'nai b'yisava. I mean, in the pnim over here, in these words. The pnim. He's quoting from Rashi. So the Gemara proves in the pasuk that David didn't marry Avishag. So the Gemara, where do we see that? He would not be. Shlomo would never be able to marry her. So he's Serva.
She was the one that kept him warm.
Yes, she won. Avishag.
All the 18 wives couldn't make him warm.
Wait. Yeah. Wait till you hear the story. Avishag. Where does it say David didn't marry Avishag? The Chassidus says in the pasuk. David talking about Yamin. King David was already old. Yamin lo yavodav. Yivakshu, his avada said, let's search for the Adonai HaMelech Adonai Psula. Uksiv, and it says in the pasuk, Yivakshu Adonai Yofa, they searched for a beautiful girl. Uksiv, Adonai Yofa Ad Me'oid. It was really beautiful. And for the king, for King David, it was there to this girl to warm him, and she served him. Amra, Avishag said to the David, Nitzava, marry me. I'm a seriously, it's awesome for me. I'm married to 18 women, I can't marry you. He says, when I got him Kenish Gamanin, ich bin ehrlich. I'm ehrlich. He doesn't have from where to steal. He says, Navshil Shlema Noket, Agamba, Hotish Wutz Gamanin. But he's Shlem is the command. He's Sholem, he doesn't steal. The minute he has where to go, Gamba is a Shendotten, don't worry. So he said to her, I'm sorry, David said to Mishasa, oh, really? So she was saying to him, the only reason why you don't want to marry me, because you're not shaykh to live with me. You're impotent, you can't live. So David said, okay. Says Mishasim, Karali Labasheva, call me my wife Basheva. Okay. Uksiv says in the pasuk, Basheva Lamelach Hachada. Basheva came to his room. He had to wipe himself 13 times because he had 13 times. She had to wipe herself 13 times because she lived with him. He lived with her 13 times right away to show and you can. And we learn how from the pasuk. Others say the words. If you count the words in the pasuk, it says Vatove Basheva El Hamelach Achada. If you count the words, it's 13 words to correspond to 13 times that he had bia with this lady. He wanted to show. You're saying because I'm impotent, I don't want to marry you. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not allowed to marry you. I'm married to 18 women. I took my wife and I showed you I could do a job. And not just a job, a 13 times a bar mitzvah job. Okay, I'm gonna have Shem by Abba. Okay, I'm gonna have Shem by Abba. Shem by Abba said, come and see how schwer, how tough divorce is. David HaMelech, the Chacham were mad to him to be alone with this girl to warm him up, right? For Yichud, that he made a gzeda, Chacham made a gzeda. You remember with Tamar, the whole story that we learned yesterday, that he raped her, the brother, Amnon raped her, and then they said no more, not even by a psula. Here, they're mad to him to live with the psula, Abi, not to divorce any of the other women, so he can marry her as the 18th woman. They didn't allow it. No, he needed the. Okay, he should have. What we're saying. But still, he should have been able to marry her instead of not to be Yoganis, so let her just divorce. So we see divorce is a terrible thing. I'm going to have Laza.
Divorce one, we still have 18 with her.
Right.
Because if he divorces any of the women today, they can't do anything. In other words, if they're married to him, they can still live with him.
No.
But if he divorces
But this girl couldn't do anything with him, but she wanted to get married. They had children.
Say divorce one of your women.
Right.
And therefore you'll be able
to marry Avishag as the 18th woman.
But if you divorce the other women, they're stuck. They can't do anything. They
only one woman. He only had to divorce.
They can't remarry. his
You're right. You're right. So what? But
This
they
way she's with him
but they
anyway.
have children. Don't let them. They'll become the Avishag. They'll sit on the side. Anyway, I'm gonna have Lezer. Call my God, sister. Whoever divorces the first wife. I feel the mizbeach. Maybe I love the mayas. Even the mizbeach pours tears. This is the second thing, bad thing. The meaning is kasis dimas mizbach Hashem. It says that the home mizbeach gives off tears, cries, and it sighs, and it doesn't look anymore to the mincha that you bring to the Eibush. And he doesn't take the kabbanis willingly from you. Why was the Eibush so angry? So the Navi answered, Ki Hashem hey beincha ubein eish nurecha. The Eibush testify between you and your wife of youth, that you are treacherous to her. She is your friend from youth, and you, the wife that was made as a bond to you. That was married for 40 years. She came to the business. She just wants to get divorced. So they told her, Mizbeach married the Mayas. So hat sie gesagt, ich hab schon geweint 40 Jahre. Soll der Mizbeach weinen ein bisschen. Amen. Rabbi Yochanan said, he came out and said, Rabbi Loza, ein ist nicht lade Mesa, Ellen came back from money. But a woman doesn't die, a wife of a husband doesn't die, only if people come to ask him for the money that he stole. And he doesn't have what to pay. Meaning she's really a culprit because she has the ksuba and she's not willing to give it. So Shanema, like it says in the pasuk,
So that's why he dies, because he has the money?
because he doesn't pay back the person. And really they have the ksuba, and she also doesn't want to give away the ksuba.
She doesn't want to help him out?
No. It says that's what he brings down on the bottom.
She's angry at him? Or that?
No, really he has nechasim, but he says all my nechasim belong to my wife in the ksuba. The gam he made and she agrees. Yes, it belongs to the ksuba. Through this, she's being mishtatev in that sin. That's why she dies. Whoever, any person that his first wife dies, it's as if the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed in his days. Like it says in the pasuk, it says that a person, I'm taking from you the desire of your eyes and the magefa. Don't make a eulogy, don't cry, don't come with your tears. I will speak to the Am in the morning, and the wife died in the evening. This is talking about Yecheskel. And it says in the Hemshech by Yecheskel, behold, I will destroy my Mikdash, the pride of your strength, the desire of your eyes. So you see that it's connected. The Misa of his first wife is in the same pasuk of the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. Amar Rabbi Alexander, called on
What
Shemesa.
about second wife dies?
Okay, Amar Rabbi Alexander. Rabbi Alexander said, "Kol adam shemesa used to be yamav." Any person that his wife died in his lifetime, the world is darkened in his eyes. It says the which is to him now like cheshach, because he lost Allah, meaning his wife. And his candle is about to extinguish, or is extinguished. Even the steps are shorter. Take shorter steps. Never like it says Yetzu, the tzadeh of the person, Oine shortened. Rabbi Abo Ama Atzasin Leifalas. All the time his wife was giving him advice, no more. His advice was thrown away. It's kosher to be Mashadach Ha'ish Ve'isha like Kriyas Yamsov. Like it says in the pasuk, yeah, the Eibush takes two single people, and is mezavim. This is second. We're jumping. We're getting to there. And mezavim, and he puts them together. What does it say? The Eibush was redeemed the Yidden from jail, meaning from Mitzrayim, by Koisharis in the beautiful time in Nisan, because it's not cold, not warm. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful breeze. I'll take a Motzei Hasidim. Don't read the Motzei Hasidim, Kib Motzei Hasidim. It's as if he took them out of jail. What does it mean? I'll take Bakay Shodes. Don't read Bakay Shodes. Ella b'chi v'shidis, at a time when there was crying and singing. When is that time? Kriyas Yamsuf. Who was crying? The Mitzrayim were crying, and the Yidden were singing. So we're talking about Kriyas Yamsuf, and it says Moitzi. I'm sorry, Elikim Moshe Yichidim Baisa, and it says Bakaisharis, right? Bakaisharis. That's by Kriyas Yamsuf. So you see, putting Yichidim together is like Kriyas Yamsuf. In fact, you want to is that so? I'm going to have you How could you say it's such a hard thing? David already set it up before, 40 days before the form. Yeah. This is by the first zivuk. But the second zivuk, it's kosher Kriyas Yamsuf. The first one is tak easy. Everybody, there's exchange. But you cannot exchange a wife from youth. It says the wife from youth, she is Timois Habayla. So Zak the mother Timois means faket. It's not. She's meaning that she becomes the Skasta Habayla, but we're going to learn that really she's the best for him.
The first one is the best.
Yeah. One second. A person is not content and feels very good only with the first wife. Your source should be blessed with smach. And you rejoice with the wife of your youth. So said Rabbi Yitzchak, who is this person that give me an example? Who the wife gives you contentment and happiness. I'm like, your mother. That's my wife, meaning your father's wife. Ini says the Gemara. It says Yitzchak says, really? You said something else a different time. Rabbi Yitzchak says you said one time to me, I find something more bitter than death, the woman. So he says that's what you told me last time. She sneers with nets. She makes entrapments on me. I'm like, who do you refer to that you find somebody who's more bitter than that? Isha, which Isha? I'm like, your mother.
Okay.
So if we can decide, and before you said she's rejoicing and content and is like that. Yeah, it's a bitter zach. So he says, Miskeft Kifa. She originally was hard, free. But she gets angry right away. But she is meichel. She's mavata easy. She forgets about it after she melts out right away. Okay, that's elephants. I don't know. Isha is an unfinished vessel. She only becomes bound when he makes the kli. When is that? When they live together. It makes sense. She's ois psula. Like it says by Allah, when they get to the Eibushter created. Here the Baal made this woman into a kli. Tana, we learned in the Braisa, ein ish meis el lishtei. A man feels the most tsar when his wife dies. Ein isha mesa. I'm sorry, faket. Yeah. Ein isha mesa el lebayla. And it's the same thing. Isha, she feels the most when the husband dies. Ein ish mesa el lishtei. Shenama vayomas elimelech ish nami. Elimelech we knew was the wife of the husband of Nabi. What are you saying, Isha again? To tell you that she feels the most pain when he dies. Where do we see that? If near is the pain. Both ways, it's so connected. You say it's forbidden to see the melech when he's taking a haircut. Tell me about a melech when he stops. A melech that's taking a haircut, he takes every day a haircut. Takes weekly. A takes once in 30 days. Oh, don't worry, they figure it out. Melech takes a haircut every day. The melech always has to be royal and in your eyes, and the people should see it. This is distinguished. You got to be careful.
Like the president.
Yeah, Kohen Gadol had something. Nicht that person. That's a butler when he leaves. Kohen Gadol will stop Erev Shabbos. Kohen Gadol takes a haircut from Erev Shabbos. The mishma was for a week. So he would take at the beginning of the week to look royal for this mishma. Once the mishma left, another haircut for the new mishma. So the Kohen Gadol should look royal in the eyes of the Mishmarim. Kohen Hedget, Kohen Hedget once in 30 days. It says your heads you shouldn't shave. But you should not let your hair go chupik too long.
Take a haircut.
Kasem yichsimu eseshem. You should trim your hair. V'yala pera minaza. We learn pera minaza. It says by a nazir you should not have long hair. That the long hair of a person by a kain he should get rid of it. Malahalam, just like by nazir it's shleishim yain. What's Tam knows is 30 days. That's when he has. That's how long he lives his hair. Afkan also the kahanim. When it says pera, it means that it grew 30 days. Shleishim 30 days. Then nami also we learned in the Mishnah. Stam nezidus shleishim yain. Stam nezidus is 30 days. So you learn out from this that it says nazir. It says the word gadil pera sadosh. He has to leave his hair grow. And it's 30 days. So that's how you know pera means 30 days. In fact, you want to ask me no. What's the hiddah of the Mishnah that stam neda of nezidus is 30 days? It says in the pasuk, Kaddish Yiyah Gadol Peres HaReishei. Yiyah, the word Yiyah, Migamatun Klassen. 2 Yudin is 20, and then you have 2 Hays. It's 30. Okay, maybe you shouldn't wait till the 30th day. Even on the 29th day, you should already have to cut the hair. If Leishaleich was written before Pera, then you're right. You should, meaning before Pera, you should already get rid of the hair. Get the comment. Yeah, before 30 days. How's the chesiv Pera? It says first your hair grew long, so that's 30 days. Pera lahavi of a don't let it go bigger than that. Nami today also. Why isn't it usher? Says you want to do me the yain, similar to yain. My yain is man biyu hudasa. When you're coming into the Beis Hamikdash, it says that you shouldn't drink wine. Coming in the Chatzah Pnimis, shalev is man biya, but it's shari. But if it's not in the time of entering Beis Hamikdash, you're allowed to drink wine. Aprureish is man biyu hudasa. Shalev is man biya shari. So too, leaving your hair grow is only you're not allowed to go with your hair growing into the Beis Hamikdash. But if it's a shas achuvim, you're allowed. So
You're talking about today.
yeah. Says Gemara. Huh?
In other words, you're not supposed to let your hair grow.
No, he says you're allowed. V'yayin shaloi b'zman biya shari says Gemara. V'yayin when it's not in the time of the Beis Hamikdash entering the Beis Hamikdash, it's mutar. V'atani we learned in Abayisa. Rabbi says, and there it talks about if the person this kohen knew exactly the cheshbon which mishmar he was and which week he would fall out and which day he would fall out on. So only that day he would have to watch, and all the other days he wouldn't have to watch. He would allowed to drink. That day he couldn't drink wine. So it says the Gemara. But if he didn't know at all, Rabbi is saying, "Ani koyanim asin lishtes yain la'olam." They should be forever because they wouldn't. How would they know? When yeah, and he says even today, and today. There was we had a churban for so many years. So he asked, maybe when the Beis Hamikdash will be rebuilt, maybe even Mechlal, all the mishmaris, your cheshbon that you have on the mishmaris will be even changed. So it should be also forever, for always.
Today is a kohen before Duchos. You're not allowed to drink wine.
No, so he says they shouldn't be. We'll still see. So nobody should be able to ever drink wine. We have to worry the Beis Hamikdash will be built. You got to be ready. He said, what should I do? This takana, we're not concerned that maybe the Beis Hamikdash will be built suddenly, and that's why we're not concerned, and you can drink wine. Like whom do we follow that we drink today wine? Kirabi. From here you can imply the Rabbanan said you're not allowed to. Says so why not? Why not? It says you want to husband hainu time, or he's asking even more. This is seisa to what we learned out from the pasuk that the kahanim were only forbidden bisman bia, and here you're saying you're not allowed to drink at all. The Rabbanan say yeah, and the Rabbanan say you always says husband hainu time. I hate it. You want to base hamikdash beina and koyin arei la'aveidu b'leika. He says the reason why today you're not allowed to drink because the Beis Hamikdash might be rebuilt and there won't be anybody to serve. That's why you're allowed to drink. In fact, you want to hachanami ben negate to the hair. He has long hair. He can't do the aveda. So you want to hachayash the misabel oil. When it comes to haircut, just give a haircut. He's ready to go. It says you want to hachanami after the night you put to the oil. He can take a little drowse and the whole effect of the wine will go away. No meravacha. Derech mil. If you walk like 18 minutes, or v'sheina, or you take a little sleep, koshu mefigim. It weakens the yayin. Says when does that little sleep help or the little walk? You drank a revius. He said there has the opposite effect. You drank more than a revius, the more you walk, the more shikah you are, more dizzy you are, and if you go to sleep, you're going to be even more shikah. So therefore they were geyser that you shouldn't even drink a revius. It's till 20. Ravashi says drinking wine is pasul d'aveda. Because that's what Rabbanu were guys said you shouldn't drink wine. But the having here on the head the leimachal aveda, it doesn't pasul d'aveda. Because Rabbanu were not guys. Meis ve'effect you might kasha for Ravashi from the Brais ve'elu. And these are the kayanim that are over an average of a misa that are misa b'deishamayim, those that go into the Beis Hamikdash when they're pruyah, when the hair is grown, and the wine has been drunk, is been shleima shtuyayin. I understand. It says in the pasuk, "Yayin sheikh atesh atavu nachoy itoch b'vayachem elam oyomeda." It says b'ferish that you're not allowed to have wine coming into the base into the oyomeda. Lo samuso. And that's the only way that you won't die. So we learn out from the pasuk in the Torah. How do you know with long hair you're not that you're chayv misa b'dei shemayim? After one of the iskash, because there's a pasuk in Yecheskel, which they were mashve the karnim that are able to make this of shtuya yain lepruya yesh. That just like shtuya yain and chayv misa, so too those that walk in with long hair. See, it says in Yecheskel, "V'reisham leigaleichol paraleishalecho." So immediately after the pasuk of Reishim lo yigalech, upera lo yishalecho, it says vayayin lo yishtu. So mashtu yayin, just like shtu yayin has in the duinim b'misa b'dei shemayim, apru yireish b'misa. So too, long hair yachayv misa mina. And from this hekish we can learn out an additional din. Mashtu yayin mechalei aveda. Just like shtu yayin passes aveda, apru yireish. So too, somebody who enters with long hair and he does the aveda, the chalei aveda, passes the aveda. So lecheda zakasha. How did Ravashi say plureish that did the aveda? It's not mechala the aveda. In fact, you might have the time Ravashi said to Ravina, according to your understanding, this that Rav Chisda said, this thing that we learned in the Mishnah that Kain. I'm sorry, Ravashi, hi, the Loi Asi Yecheskel, before Yecheskel, for the Pasuk of Yecheskel, which you made a hekish of long hair to drinking wine. Man Amra. Who said? From where do we learn out? Benatera, that long hair is forbidden to do the Aveda. And the Ravashi, according to your answer, said, this din that we learned in the Mishnah that Kohen Adol. A kohen who's not did not have a bris is says the Gemara we learn out Mitayis Meshabino that if he does aved it's possible. Says the Gemara we learned this out only after Yecheskel came and taught us this. Any kohen Russia who you could tell that his heart is not circumcised. He's not makeh, and he goes against the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Basa, and so too a kohen who couldn't be gemalit. Lo yavel mikdashi. He should not enter into the Beis Hamikdash. So we can ask Osan Rav Chisda, just like we asked Menagei to Prureish before the pasuk in Yecheskel, where we see that there's that you're not allowed. Ad lo by Yecheskel man amra. Before Yecheskel, who taught us this halacha? Ella, Gemara Allah. Only because it's halacha l'mashmisineva. So Yecheskel, and Yecheskel came, and he brought a pasuk to be semich on it. Hachanami Gemara Allah. Here too, it's halacha l'mashmisineva. So Yecheskel asmach and Yecheskel came, and he found a pasuk to rely on it. In fact, the Gemara halacha when. And again, so now the Gemara is answering, when do we learn halach l'meish Sinai? Not l'misa, only from Misa. That the kohenim who are pruya reish that did aved in the Beis Hamikdash are going to be chayv misa b'dei shamayim. But lachule avodah. But just to be mechalad avodah, like you mean, we don't have. Wasn't halach l'meish Sinai. We don't say the avodah is going to be possible. Shtuya yain that the avodah in the mikdash mechalas avodah is. But there we have a pasuk. What's halach l'meish Sinai? I'm sorry, shtuya yain is a pasuk in the Torah, but pruya roish, long hair that somebody doesn't in the Beis Hamikdash. We don't have a pasuk in the Torah that it's mechalad pasul avodah. Says the Gemara, my cosmic what does it mean that they should trim the hair? On Kmintas space Lulyan is like the haircut of Lulyan is. Like my might space Lulyan is. What is the haircut of Lulyan is? It's a unique haircut. How does it look? Ashi Rachel said the tip of one hair reaches to the root of the other. Shalos Rebbe. The Talmidim asked Rabbi, Ezel Taspedis Shal Kohen Gadol. What type of a haircut was the Kohen Gadol? Amalahem Surah Urim Taspedis Shal Ben Elasha. Come and see. Rabbi says, for my son-in-law Ben Elasha. Tanya Rabbi Yema. We learned in the Braisa. Rabbi says, Lo Yachinam Pisa Ben Elasha. Not for nothing did Ben Elasha spend a lot of money, ma'is of his money, to learn the hair, this unique haircut. Ela Kedei Lahazbai, only to show to everyone how the Tisperi Shal Kohen Gadol, how the haircut of a Kohen looked like. Adam Allah Kohen Gadol, we shall return to you, pay the Kohen Gadol.